Crocodiles are even more terrifying than most realize. These ancient reptiles are famed for their stealth and dominance as apex predators. A few have reached such enormous sizes that they've been given legendary names. Particularly notorious are the man-eaters, whose tales have become infamous. So, how large can a crocodile truly grow? Stay with us as we count down the top 10 largest crocodiles ever documented. Number 10. Kalia. Kalia, one of the largest living crocodiles ever recorded, was a true giant of the animal kingdom. At 7 meters, 23 feet, long and nearly 2 tons, he ruled the waters of Biturkanica for decades. Unlike many other massive crocodiles hunted or captured, Kalia remained free, growing larger each year. His immense size made him a legend, and stories about him spread far beyond the rivers he called home. Kalia was often seen gliding through the muddy waters or basking in the sun along the riverbanks. Despite his massive build, he moved with surprising speed, making him a fearsome hunter. His powerful jaws crushed fish, birds, and even large animals that strayed too close. Some locals claim to have seen him surface during heavy storms, his enormous head breaking through the churning water like a living relic from the past. There were tales of fishermen abandoning their boats at the mere sight of his shadow gliding beneath them. On moonlit nights, his low, rumbling growl could sometimes be heard echoing across the water, sending chills through anyone nearby. Even the bravest hunters hesitated to enter his territory, knowing that Kalia was always watching. Villagers whispered stories of his strength, telling tales of how he could easily drag an entire buffalo into the water. His sharp senses allowed him to detect the slightest movement, making it nearly impossible for prey to escape. His dominance in the waters of the Tamar River meant that few animals dared to challenge him. Scientists believed Kalia had lived for over a century, a rare feat for any crocodile. His long life was partly due to the conservation efforts in Biturkanica, where strict protections helped prevent poaching. Unlike many other giant crocodiles that fell victim to hunters, Kalia thrived in the dense mangrove forests, a perfect sanctuary for an apex predator. Despite his terrifying reputation, Kalia was a creature of instinct, not malice. His attacks on animals and at times humans were not acts of cruelty, but of survival. His powerful tail propelled him through the water with effortless grace, allowing him to stalk his prey with silent precision. But Kalia's reign came to a tragic end in 1926. A ship captain, perhaps fearing for his safety, shot the great crocodile. Wounded, Kalia retreated into the dense reeds along the riverbank, seeking refuge in the thick vegetation. However, the villagers, knowing his reputation, set fire to the area, ensuring there was no escape. The flames consumed the reeds, and with nowhere to go, Kalia perished in the blaze. It was an unceremonious end for a creature that had ruled the waters for over a century. His skull was later preserved in the palace of the Raja of Kanika, a haunting reminder of the giant that once roamed the rivers. Scientists and wildlife experts study his story, hoping to better understand these ancient reptiles and ensure their survival in the modern world. Number 9. Gustave. In 1987, reports began emerging from Lake Tanganyika in Burundi about a massive Nile crocodile attacking people in the Ruzizi River. But this was no ordinary crocodile. It was Gustave the killer. He was said to be 6 meters, 20 feet, long, weighing over a ton and possibly 100 years old. People claimed gunfire couldn't stop him, and the beast was responsible for over 300 deaths. Fishermen described a terrifying predator that used its tail to splash water and knock them off their boats before dragging them under. Some even believed Gustave was bulletproof, saying that he would eat the bullets fired at him. His attacks seemed to follow a pattern. When he disappeared into the deeper waters of Lake Tanganyika, the tragedies stopped. But whenever he returned to the river, the loss of lives began again. Locals would whisper warnings to each other, refusing to fish or swim when rumors spread that Gustave was nearby. Children were kept indoors, and entire villages would change their routines, living in fear of the monster lurking beneath the surface. Some brave souls tried to hunt him, but their efforts only added to the legend as Gustave always managed to escape. There were even stories of him dragging entire canoes under, leaving nothing but splintered wood and terrified survivors. The mere mention of his name was enough to send chills down the spine of anyone living near the river. French naturalist Patrice Fay arrived in Burundi to deal with the infamous crocodile by 1998. At first, he intended to eliminate Gustave, but after seeing him, he changed his mind. Patrice spent the next 2 years tracking Gustave, observing his habits and trying to understand him. He discovered Gustave traveled up to 32 kilometers, 20 miles, through the Ruzizi River, likely searching for mates. However, his movements left a trail of destruction. It was believed Gustave primarily fed on fish and cattle, but there were claims that he once killed and ate an entire hippopotamus. Patrice had a different theory. He believed Gustave developed a taste for human flesh because of the war in Burundi. Many bodies were thrown into the river and lake, and Gustav may have started scavenging on them. Over time, he may have begun hunting humans. The estimate of 300 deaths came from a simple calculation. If Gustav had killed people for 20 years, it could have added up to that number. In 2004, a documentary crew arrived in Burundi to film capturing the killer croc. This was the first time the world saw Gustav. The footage confirmed he was a massive Nile crocodile, easily identifiable by bullet scars on his body and a deep wound on his shoulder. Patrice collaborated with crocodile experts Alison Leslie and Mark Ganswana to capture Gustav. They set up a giant trap using a live goat as bait, but Gustav never entered. One night, the trap was found flooded, and the goat had vanished. Gustav was considered too intelligent. That same year, he killed 17 people in just 30 days. Patrice then proposed a new plan: tranquilize Gustav, attach a radio collar, and release him back into the wild to track his movements. But Gustav was never caught, and he remained a lurking danger in Burundi. He may still be lurking in the murky waters of the Ruzizi River, waiting for his next victim. Number 8. Cassius. Cassius was a massive saltwater crocodile who lived at the Marine and Crocodile Park on Green Island, Queensland, Australia. For many years, he was once known as the largest crocodile in captivity. He was a giant among crocodiles at about 5.5 meters, 18 feet, long and weighing around 1,300 kilograms, 2,870 pounds. This giant crocodile was first found in the wild in the Finnies River in the Northern Territory of Australia, where he was a problem because he often attacked boats. People feared him, and it was dangerous for humans and the crocodile to share the same waters. So, in 1984, crocodile hunter George Craig captured him. This was done to protect both people and the animal. Cassius was already an old crocodile when he was caught. Experts were unsure of his exact age, but believed he was between 30 and 80. Some even thought he might have been much older. In 2023, researchers suggested he could be around 120 years old. Over the years, Cassius became a bit of a legend, with stories about his wild days growing bigger every time they were told. Some staff members claimed he had a particular spot in his enclosure where he liked to sunbathe, and he would get grumpy if anyone disturbed him. Tourists would line up for photos, hoping to catch him with his jaws wide open, showing off his impressive teeth. Occasionally, he would surprise everyone by moving with unexpected speed, reminding people that even in old age, he was still a force to be reckoned with. His keepers often joked that Cassius had a sixth sense for feeding time, always appearing right on cue. He lived in captivity for about 40 years, becoming a famous crocodile known worldwide. When he arrived at Marineland, Melanesia in 1987, he was slightly smaller than his final size. Over time, he continued to grow, and in 2011, Guinness World Records officially named him the largest crocodile in captivity. However, in 2012, another crocodile named Lolong, who was even bigger, took the title. Lolong was found in the Philippines and measured over 6 meters, 20 feet, long. But after Lolong died in 2013, Cassius became the largest known crocodile in captivity. Despite his age, Cassius was a strong crocodile who remained healthy for many years. His keepers at Marineland Melanesia took great care of him, providing him with food, a safe habitat, and medical attention. He was a popular attraction at the zoo, and visitors worldwide came to see him. Unlike in the wild, where he had to fight for food and territory, Cassius had everything he needed at the zoo. He was well fed and protected. His diet consisted of meat, including fish, chicken, and other meats. His keepers monitored his health regularly to ensure he was in good condition. Sadly, Cassius passed away in November 2024. His death marked the end of an era. A necropsy was performed to find out how he died. The results showed no specific cause of death, meaning he likely passed away from old age. After his death, samples of his body were sent to scientists in hopes of determining his exact age. His skin and head were preserved as a way to honor his memory. Number 7. Dominator. In the rivers of Australia, one of the biggest and most dangerous crocodiles roams the waters. His name is Dominator. He is a saltwater crocodile, a species known for being the largest reptile on Earth. But even among his kind, Dominator is special. He is massive, estimated to be around 6 meters, 20 feet, long and weighing over a ton. He is one of the largest crocodiles ever seen in the wild. Dominator lives in the Adelaide River in Australia, which is famous for its large crocodiles, but even among them he stands out. His body is covered in scars, proof of the many battles he has fought over the years. Crocodiles are territorial, and in the wild, they battle for dominance. Only the strongest survive, and Dominator has earned his name by defeating rivals that dared to challenge him. Some guides say you can spot him by the deep gouges along his snout and the jagged ridges on his tail, each one a trophy from a past fight. There are stories of Dominator launching himself out of the water with such force that he nearly tips the tour boats, leaving visitors both thrilled and terrified. Occasionally, he'll surface just long enough to lock eyes with the crowd before vanishing beneath the muddy water, adding to his mysterious reputation. Locals believe he's clever, often avoiding traps and steering clear of areas where hunters once tried to catch him. His legend grows with every season, as new scars appear and old rivals disappear from the river. His massive jaws and powerful tail give him an advantage, making him nearly unbeatable in a fight. This giant crocodile is also known for his incredible power. With his massive jaws, he can leap out of the water to grab food. Tourists come from all over the world to see him during the famous jumping crocodile tours. When he jumps, people see how big and strong he is. His thick, armored skin protects him, and his sharp teeth make him a true predator. His bite is one of the strongest in the animal kingdom, powerful enough to crush bones in an instant. Despite his size, Dominator is not often seen outside of feeding time. He stays in deeper waters and only comes close when he wants to. He is a patient hunter, waiting beneath the surface for the right moment to strike. Crocodiles have been around for millions of years, surviving even when the dinosaurs disappeared. They are built for survival, and Dominator is a perfect example of this ancient predator. In the waters of the Adelaide River, Dominator has one major rival, Brutus. Brutus, a massive crocodile nearly as large as Dominator, is missing a front leg, as mentioned earlier. These two giants share the same river, and their rivalry is well known. When they cross paths, the water churns as they size each other up. Though they rarely fight where people can see, the scars on their bodies reveal the history of their battles. Despite his reputation, Dominator is not an aggressive killer. He is a survivor, a creature following the instincts that have kept his species alive for millions of years. He hunts not for sport, but for survival. Number 6. Bjang Saong. This massive reptile had a white back and was believed to be over 7.6 meters, 25 feet, long. For decades, it terrorized the local villages, taking lives and earning a reputation as a demon of the river. One of the earliest recorded attacks happened on June 26, 1982. A farmer named Bjang Saong was searching for shrimp with his brother Kabir. As Bjang walked in the water, he suddenly stepped on something large. Thinking it was a log, he barely had time to react before a massive explosion of water erupted in front of him. A huge crocodile grabbed him and dragged him away. His brother tried desperately to save him, even jumping into the water and holding the crocodile's tail, but the beast was too strong. The next day, villagers saw the crocodile carrying Bjang's body in the river. 5 days later, his remains were finally found. More attacks followed. Just weeks later, another villager, a Bjang Saong, was killed when a large crocodile rammed his boat, knocking him into the water. The tragic death caused panic, and the government launched a massive operation to hunt and neutralize man-eating crocodiles. Stories of the white-backed monster spread quickly, with some villagers refusing to go near the river at all. Children were kept indoors, and fishermen traveled in groups, always watching the water for any sign of movement. Some elders whispered that the crocodile was not just an animal, but a spirit sent to punish the village for past wrongs. The fear was so intense that rituals and offerings were made along the riverbanks, hoping to appease whatever force controlled the beast. Even seasoned hunters admitted feeling chills when they saw the creature's pale back gliding silently through the water. Armed with guns, spears, and even grenades, hunters searched for Bjang Saong. One crocodile catcher managed to harpoon the beast, but it was too powerful. It dragged the boat against the current before breaking free and disappearing into the depths. Sightings of the white-backed crocodile continued for years. In 1984, another villager named Bjang Saong was fatally wounded in a brutal attack. Witnesses saw the crocodile playing with his body in the river, tossing it around like a toy. 6 hunters chased the beast for hours, finally getting close enough to shoot it twice. But the crocodile barely reacted. It sank into the water and vanished once again. Over the years, more attacks were reported, and many believed they were the work of the same white-backed crocodile. One man claimed that the beast had been hunting people since the 1960s, making it one of the longest-known man-eating crocodiles in history. Now it's time for today's topic. A drone surveying a remote stretch of the Nile River has captured footage of what experts are calling the largest Nile crocodile ever recorded. The massive reptile, spotted basking near the riverbank, dwarfs everything around it, including nearby fishermen's boats, which appear tiny in comparison. Estimated to be over 25 feet long, the crocodile's sheer size and bulk have left scientists and locals in awe and fear. The footage shows the crocodile moving slowly through the water, its massive tail creating ripples that stretch across the river. Its head alone is said to be the size of a small car, and its powerful jaws could easily crush anything in its path. Locals have already begun calling it the King of the Nile, with some fearing it could be a new man-eater. Experts are now studying the footage to determine the crocodile's age and origins. This could be a relic of a time when crocodiles grew much larger, one biologist speculated. It's a living dinosaur. While some believe the creature has always lived in the remote region, others fear it may have moved closer to human settlements. For now, the massive crocodile remains a chilling reminder of the untamed power of nature lurking in the Nile's depths. Number 5. Gomech. Gomech was a massive saltwater crocodile with a long and interesting history. He was born in 1927 and spent the first part of his life in the wild, where he grew into a strong predator. In 1968, he was captured by George Craig in Papua New Guinea. At the time, he was already an impressive size, making him one of the largest crocodiles ever caught. Instead of being released or hunted, Gomech was placed in captivity, where he would become one of the most famous crocodiles in the world. For many years, Gomech lived in Ocala, Florida, under the care of Terry and Arthur Jones, who purchased him in 1985. He stayed there for about 5 years before moving to the St. Augustine Alligator Farm Zoological Park in Florida. This would become his permanent home for the rest of his life. At St. Augustine, Gomech became a popular attraction. Unlike many other large crocodiles, he had a surprisingly calm personality. He was known for being friendly with his handlers and did not show the usual aggression that most crocodiles display. Because of this, his keepers could approach him closely, sometimes as near as 3 feet, without fear. Visitors often marveled at his gentle demeanor, with some even describing him as the world's most trustworthy crocodile. Children would press their faces to the glass, hoping to catch a glimpse of Gomech's famous feeding tricks. His enclosure became a must-see stop at the park, and he inspired countless stories and souvenirs. Some regulars swore he recognized familiar faces, responding with a slow blink or a lazy tail flick. Over time, Gomech's legend grew, and he became a symbol of the park's commitment to conservation and education. One of Gomech's most famous behaviors was his ability to toss food, particularly nutria, with great skill. He became well known for feeding shows, launching his food into the air before catching and swallowing it. This made him a favorite among visitors, who would come from all over to see him in action. Despite his size, he moved gracefully and was fascinating to watch. His calm nature and ability to tolerate people made him stand out from other large crocodiles. Gomech was also an impressive specimen in terms of his physical size. By the time he passed away, he was measured at 5.4 meters, 17 feet 9 inches, long and weighed around 860 kilograms, 1,896 pounds. Gomech lived in captivity for many years, growing older and larger with each passing year. Unfortunately, like all living things, he eventually reached the end of his life. In 1997, Gomech passed away from heart disease. He was estimated to be around 70 years old at the time of his death, which is considered very old for a crocodile. Number 4. The Yai. Yai is one of the biggest crocodiles in the world, and a true giant of his species. He lives at the Samet Prakan Crocodile Farm and Zoo in Thailand, where he has been a major attraction for many years. Yai is a hybrid between a saltwater crocodile and a Siamese crocodile, making him unique among large crocodiles. His massive size sets him apart. He measures approximately 6 meters, 19.7 feet, in length and weighs over a ton, making him one of the largest crocodiles in captivity. This giant crocodile spends much of his time in his enclosure, which is designed to accommodate his size. He enjoys resting in the water or basking on the sunlit banks, often lying still for hours. On special occasions, the zoo staff will host feeding demonstrations, drawing crowds eager to witness Yai's explosive power up close. Sometimes, he'll surprise everyone by lunging out of the water with lightning speed, sending a splash that soaks the front row of onlookers. His keepers have developed a deep respect for his unpredictable nature, always maintaining a safe distance during interactions. There are even stories among the staff about Yai recognizing familiar faces, showing a rare intelligence not often associated with reptiles. His presence has inspired countless visitors, with many leaving the zoo in awe of his sheer size and strength. Despite his slow movements on land, Yai is incredibly powerful, capable of sudden bursts of speed when necessary. His thick, armored skin provides excellent protection, and his long, muscular tail helps him move swiftly through the water. His sharp teeth and immense jaw strength make him a formidable predator, even in captivity. During feeding time, Yai's power becomes even more evident. He has one of the strongest bite forces in the animal kingdom, capable of easily crushing bones. He feeds on large pieces of meat his caretakers provide, ensuring he remains well-fed and healthy. Though he has adapted to life in the zoo, he still retains the instincts of a wild crocodile, reacting quickly to movement and displaying territorial behavior. Visitors worldwide come to see Yai, drawn by his incredible size and ancient, almost prehistoric appearance. Despite environmental changes, crocodiles like Yai continue to thrive, proving their ability to adapt and survive. Number 3. Lolong. Lolong was the largest crocodile ever kept in captivity. He was a saltwater crocodile that measured 6.17 meters, 20 feet 3 inches, long and weighed 1,075 kilograms, 2,370 pounds. His massive size made him one of the biggest crocodiles ever recorded. In November 2011, a British expert from National Geographic confirmed his measurements, officially making him the world's largest crocodile in captivity. Lolong was captured on September 3, 2011, in a creek in Bunuan, a town in the Philippines. His capture was a huge event involving local officials, residents, and expert crocodile hunters. It took around 100 people to pull him onto land. He fought back fiercely, breaking strong ropes twice before he was finally secured. Experts believed he was at least 50 years old at the time. People suspected Lolong of attacking a fisherman and a 12-year-old girl, but when experts examined his stomach, they found no human remains. The entire community was abuzz with excitement and curiosity, with news crews and wildlife enthusiasts flocking to Bunuan. Children would gather near the enclosure, hoping to catch a glimpse of the giant as he basked in the sun or slid into the water. Local artists even created paintings and carvings inspired by Lolong, celebrating his arrival as a symbol of the town. The park staff worked tirelessly to ensure his health and comfort, monitoring his diet and behavior closely. Lolong's presence brought a sense of pride and unity to Bunuan, as people from all walks of life came together to care for their new resident. Despite debates over whether Lolong should be set free, the town of Bunuan kept him in an ecotourism park, where he became a major attraction. Lolong was named after Ernesto Lolong Canate, a veteran crocodile hunter who helped track him. Canate spent weeks following the giant reptile, but sadly died of a heart attack just days before Lolong was captured. Lolong brought thousands of visitors to the Bunuan Eco Park. His enclosure opened to the public on September 17, 2011, and the park charged small entrance fees to help care for him. The park earned thousands of pesos daily, making Lolong an important part of the town's economy. In June 2012, the Guinness Book of World Records officially named him the largest crocodile ever kept in captivity, breaking the record of an 5.5-meter, 18-foot crocodile in Australia. Despite his fame, Lolong's time in captivity was short. On February 10, 2013, he was found dead in his enclosure. A necropsy revealed he had died from pneumonia and cardiac arrest, worsened by stress and a fungal infection. His body was preserved and displayed at the Philippine National Museum, ensuring his story lives on. Number 2. Chris. In the remote rivers of northern Australia, one of the most astonishing crocodiles in history was discovered in 1957. This was Chris, the largest saltwater crocodile ever recorded. He was so big that his size remains unmatched. Chris was found by Christina Pulowski, a skilled crocodile hunter, and her husband. Crocodile hunting was common in Australia at the time, with people seeking their valuable skins. The couple had heard local stories about a giant crocodile lurking in the waters near Normanton, but few believed such a creature could exist. When they encountered Chris, they realized they were face to face with something extraordinary. The massive crocodile was resting near the riverbank, almost blending in with the surroundings. At first glance, it looked like a floating log, but upon closer inspection, its rough, scaly hide and piercing eyes revealed the truth. Christina, an experienced hunter, took careful aim with her rifle. The shot hit its mark, but Chris did not go down immediately. The immense reptile thrashed violently, its powerful tail churning the water and sending waves crashing against the shore. The noise and commotion drew the attention of nearby locals, who rushed to the scene in disbelief. Some witnesses claimed the ground seemed to shake as Chris struggled, his tail sweeping huge arcs through the muddy water. Stories quickly spread through the region, with some saying Chris was so large he could have easily overturned a small boat. The event became the talk of the town, and people traveled from miles away just to see the giant for themselves. For weeks, the riverbanks buzzed with excitement and awe at the sheer scale of the creature. Eventually, the struggle came to an end, and the lifeless body of Chris was left floating in the river. When the crocodile was finally measured, the sheer scale of the animal left people in disbelief. Chris was far larger than the average saltwater crocodile at 8.5 meters, 28 feet, typically growing between 4 and 5 meters, 13 and 16 feet. His massive size raised many questions about how he had grown so large. Scientists believe he must have been extremely old, possibly over a century, allowing him ample time to reach such an enormous length. His diet would have included fish, birds, and even large mammals, making him the undisputed apex predator of his environment. Despite his historic size, Chris was not preserved. No photographs of him exist, only recorded measurements and eyewitness accounts. However, his legend continues to live on. In the town of Normanton, a life-size statue of Chris was erected to commemorate the largest saltwater crocodile ever officially recorded. It serves as a reminder of the prehistoric giants that once roamed the waters of northern Australia. Number 1. Brutus. Brutus is a giant crocodile, living in the Adelaide River in Australia's Northern Territory. He is 5.5 meters, 18 feet, long, weighs about 2 tons, and is believed to be around 80 years old. His most famous feature is his missing front right leg, which many believe he lost in a fight with a shark. Despite his age and injury, Brutus is still a powerful predator. Recently, Brutus became an international sensation when he was photographed with a bull shark in his jaws. Tourists on a river cruise spotted him holding the shark and watched him disappear into the mangroves with his catch. The rare sight amazed everyone on the boat. One tourist, Andrew Pace, captured the moment on camera, and the images quickly went viral. Brutus has been well known for years. He's become a bit of a legend among the local guides, who love to share stories about his daring encounters and close calls. Some say he's even challenged other massive crocodiles in the river, holding his own despite his missing limb. There are tales of Brutus lurking just beneath the surface, only his eyes and snout visible, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Occasionally, he'll surprise everyone by launching himself almost completely out of the water, showing off his incredible strength. His presence adds a sense of thrill and unpredictability to every river cruise. Photos of him leaping out of the water to grab meat on a river cruise made headlines in 2010. His enormous size and missing leg make him one of the most famous crocodiles in Australia. Many visitors take the cruise hoping to see him, though he doesn't always appear. Tour guides describe Brutus as a local celebrity. His sheer size and history make him one of the most exciting animals in the river. Because of his massive frame and ancient appearance, some tourists compare him to a living dinosaur. While no one knows exactly how Brutus lost his leg, the theory that he fought a shark makes his recent meal even more fascinating. Whatever happened in the past, it's clear that Brutus remains one of the wild's strongest and most feared creatures. Which of these crocodiles do you find the most fascinating? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.